So, Ace, you are staring down the scope of your sniper rifle, waiting for that moment when the gunfire starts. And the second it does, you squeeze the trigger and a shot goes off. Please roll me with your sniper rifle to hit. It is short range, it is single shot, which is standard, and it is full aim because you've been holding to aim.
0 modifiers, right?
Yes. Okay, so that is 7 degrees of success. Yeah.
For the damage.
So please roll me damage because they don't get to dodge because this is an ambush essentially.
What is so I do the +4. 4 plus. Okay. That's the lowest it goes. I mean the highest it goes, and that's what I do, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. So that is 15 damage with pen 3, but because your sniper rifle is accurate, you get plus d10s based on your degrees of success. Every 2 degrees of success, you get plus d10. You get 2 max, so it is 2 extra d10s of damage.
Sheesh. Okay.
So please roll me 2 more d10s.
I could do R2D10
Yeah.
space. Yikes.
So that is an additional 7 damage on top of the 15 you do just from your basic sniper rifle. To give you an idea, a regular human will generally have anywhere from 9 to 12 wounds. With penetration of 3, you're going to go through the majority of their armor. Essentially, this is very, very overkill. You didn't really have a chance to pick anyone out when you were aiming, so it's going to be essentially one of them is going to take the hit, and as you're staring, the gunfire starts, you squeeze, aiming at one of them, and it just takes them straight through the neck, like instantly killing them, and they are down. There's a moment of kind of all of them freeze, and then a couple of them start shouting. One of them looks over in your direction, even. Let's see very quickly if they can figure out where you are.
And I am under the cloak as well, right?
You are.
Okay.
But this role will be for essentially how well they can. 5 degrees of failure, not very well at all. As you like see them down your scope as you're preparing to take another shot, you see them like looking, but not even really in your direction, and the bullets are kicking up dirt around them, making it harder for them to kind of, really tell where the shot came from, even by noise, because it's already gotten noisy. So moving on, if we could get a hit roll. Yeah, a hit roll from Warbitch, please, because you are suppressing fire for the rest of the squad to move up, I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that correct?
That's damage. It's the one that says hit.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Oh, no.
So, if this goes ahead, this will be a jam on your weapon. Essentially, you're going to have to take a turn to unjam it so you can be ready. You do have fate points. You have 2 of them. So if you'd like to reroll, this would be a good moment to use a fate point.
How rare are fate points?
You
in
have
general?
2
For the whole.
for the
I'll
whole
never get
session.
another one back.
No,
Oh, just
at
today.
the end. Yeah, just today.
Okay.
At the end of every session, they come back.
Okay, awesome. Then yes, I would like to reroll.
Okay, you will use 1 fate point.
Yeah.
Give it another shot, as it were. Thank you.
Well.
Okay, so you're used to the kick of your gun, but it doesn't mean you're as accurate with it. You don't miss, but your suppressive fire is not as effective as you might like. You're not managing to keep up with the bursts, keeping the head down. There are opportunities for them to fire back. So, with those 2 things done, the lieutenant is adding to the fire, and both of the recruit, both the new recruit and the veteran, which are Lenk and Hawk, are basically standing by with Rita and Sergeant Keith ready to move when he gives the order. Sergeant Keith, essentially, you're behind little divots in the earth. A few stray bullets have returned fire, have come back, but it's not super concentrated. And both Ace and Warbitch have opened up and kind of got their heads down, got them panicking a little bit.
All right. Parzival. Yeah.
Yes, Sarge?
Put down a little smoke for us.
Right away, Captain. Can I do that?
Yeah. So for the smoke, essentially you'll have your intended target, which I imagine is partway between yourselves and the enemy. So you can kind of move forward, get into range, maybe get behind some cover, and then get some concentrated fire down on the enemy position. It will rely on your ballistic skill. So you're going to be firing the grenade. Essentially, it may scatter a little bit. We'll see how it goes. So if you roll me a, let's call it a ballistic skill with a plus 20, because it's not very far. It's not another 100, is it? Oh, it's a 4. Okay. Yeah, goes exactly where you want. It doesn't even bounce when it hits the ground. It just kind of plants itself exactly where you wanted. Immediately, smoke flares up and
See that,
kind of
Sarge? It's all the training!
expands.
The practice!
What this means is essentially you have a decent layer of smoke in between yourselves and the enemy. However, it's not in such a position where Warbitch on your right or Ace on your left is obscured so they can continue with the fire.
Okay, so if okay, so if Valkis has eyes on to some degree and Ace has eyes on to some degree, right? They can see what they're doing.
They can see what they're doing.
Okay. All right, Ace, Valkis, I need you to listen up.
All right.
We're gonna push up with this smoke down, all right? But we don't have eyes, which means we're gonna rely on you. Okay? I need you to communicate with each other and pop back and forth. Okay? Ace, I need you to dance with Valkis. You shoot, she
Dance
shoots.
with Valkis. Please
I need
explain.
you to take their attention off of us. We need to move forward a little bit while we have the smoke. Can you do it?
I can do that or kill them all. Your call.
Do a little of both.
Oh, Ace, let's
Right on.
dance.
All right.
Can you keep up?
You go off my lead or I go off yours. But your lead is normally consisting of running down the middle. I'll stay to your left.
All right.
Okay, so do you want to move the remaining squad who haven't gone yet, essentially forward towards the smoke? You're not going to get all the way, but you will be able to get into range with your guns, so you have decent firing options.
Yeah, the goal is we're going to be moving up, everybody. First of all, I'm going to rely on you to blow the shit out of them, but it's going to be a blind shot because I need you to do it before the smoke stops. Can you do it?
Aye, Sarge. Right away.
All right.
I have
I'm
a
gonna get up-
question, Sarge, if it's okay to interject.
Go.
Well, I don't have to move. I just have to shoot. What if I distract while you move up?
That's essentially what your dancing's going to be. I just need them to not pay attention forward long enough for us to get close enough that we can open fire when the smoke's gone.
You want I
Excellent.
should blow him away now or later?
I want to get a little close before we blow them away.
Hey, fam.
So, with you all moving up, the two others will follow you as well. Rita and Sarge, could you both give me an athletics with a plus 20, please? Alright, let's have a look here. Rita, 7 degrees. Oh no, that's the ballistic skill. Okay. Yes, 1 degree of success for the sergeant. 7 degrees of success for Lenk, and 2 degrees of success for Hawk. So they are keeping up with you, basically on both sides. Rita, can I get a athletics plus 20?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
So it's on a different tab. Oh no.
Okay. 3 degrees of failure. You do have your fate
Real
points if you want to
winning.
use them, but it's essentially what this means is that you will need a few extra seconds to get in position. You're not going to have a chance to aim when you fire,
It's
but
fine.
you will be there with the rest of them.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Well, a lot of frenzied right now.
So, with that, you have essentially surged forward behind the cover of smoke to the point where you're going to have much better time firing upon the enemy at the bank. You can do a round of firing, but it won't be aimed because you essentially have used most of your turn running up there, and then you can get some basically unaimed shots off if you like. And I would say, Rita, for you, it takes you a bit too long to get up there, essentially. So it'll have to be next.
I'm right behind you, Sarge.
You're fine. You'll get here. I think I'd probably order anyone around me to hold their fire for a little bit. I don't want to give our position away quite yet.
Yeah,
Just
you
wait.
are...
Yeah.
With the mix of suppressing fire, the sniper shots coming from the side, and the smoke, you aren't really taking any fire because they're not sure where you are. So instead, we'll move. First up, can we get another suppressive fire from Warbitch, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. It's pretty wild. It's not enough to keep their heads down. So the panic that hit them on being opened up on, especially from the sniper shot, has kind of has left their system, and they're returning fire towards your direction. Essentially, there's going to be a couple of that is... There we go. A couple of shots head your way.
Should I be worried?
Probably not. So that is 6 degrees of failure and 1 degree of failure. Their targets are pretty low. So the return fire essentially pings around you, not even really whizzing past your head. They're very misplaced and not the best of shots. Ace. Please,
Yeah.
as you're looking through your scope, could you give me a scrutiny roll? Take
Like I
a plus
can.
20.
Plus 20. It's bigger. Scrutiny under core. Learn this down. Scrutiny. There it is. Oop. Plus 20. I don't have to put the plus, right? I could just put 20.
Just 20, yeah.
Okay, cool. There you go.
Okay, so you observe two things as you are lining up your next shot. You observe the most forward one, the one who essentially shouted the challenge in a strange dialect or language that you didn't recognize, shake himself out of things first and essentially turn to the rest of the enemy troopers, which there are 3 now because you took one of them out, and start shouting, and they also shake themselves out and they start returning fire towards Warbitch. The other thing is the one at the back is shouted at by the one who got control of himself first. With 6 degrees of success, actually, I can say he's probably an NCO at the very least, maybe an officer. So he's the one in charge. And he shouts at him, and the guy kind of reaches behind himself. You notice a pretty big kind of backpack on him. Again, 6 degrees of success is very, very good. Guess would be as a radio, some form of communications. And he pulls out like a kind of receiver, transceiver type looking thing ready to shout into it. You have a shot. You can line up on either of them. Or one of the...
Wait, which one has the receiver? The one in the leader or the one behind him?
The one behind him towards the back.
Okay. Sarge.
Yeah, Ace.
One standing in front. Anxiety trickling. Not too anxious. Calling orders. Preventing other anxiety to stuff in. Straightening of the back. Seems that this one is in charge. But there's another problem. 1 bullet, 2 targets. One has something on his back. A transceiver of some sort, maybe a communication device to call in backup. Your call, 1 bullet.
All right. Take out the radio.
Aye. Ace plants his sniper rifle and then shifts a little to the right behind. And as the enemy picks his hand up to call, he's like, artistically challenged inside of this area will be to insert a bullet through the device, through the head. Will cause more anxiety for the officer that is calling the shots. For giving us a little bit more time. Warbitch, are you ready to dance? And he lines up.
Okay.
Don't stop dancing. Don't stop dancing.
Please roll me a ballistic skill, the same as before, except for you would take -10 to that roll because it is no longer an ambush.
Okay, so hit
So it'll yeah,
-10, right?
yes.
Okay.
Three degrees of success. Okay. As they still don't know where you are, however, they're not sure where the shot's coming from. They have no, and he's essentially just static, about to, his hands going up to shout down on his radio. You do hit, because he can't dodge. So please roll me a damage again.
And fire! And he takes a shot.
With an extra d10 of damage for accurate. Oof. Okay. So, you swivel, you aim, you squeeze, and there's just a slight pause to wait for him so his hand is right in front of his face. And you squeeze the shot, it barrels across the open area and goes straight through his hand, goes straight through the device, and pings him straight in the cheek. And he just collapses instantly.
It's just like, sweet violin strings are being plucked one by one. Target down, Sarge. Call the next. War bitch, it's your turn. Take lead.
Okay. Pretty picture, boy.
What can I say? I like art.
Okay. So, with their radio man down, you have 3 left, essentially in a line in front of you. Sergeant, the smoke is still there. If you want to push past the smoke, you can. Otherwise, it may take you're essentially going to be firing with some minuses because you're not seeing exactly what you're aiming at. You have a general gist of where they are.
Is Parzival up to us yet?
Yes. And
Okay.
this time
Right here,
prepared to
Sarge. Right behind you.
All right.
a little bit out
all
of
right.
breath.
All right, Parzival. You got a general idea where these people are. It's okay even if you aim a little behind them. You can blow them
yes,
up, and that's
Sarge, I know
fine.
exactly where they are. Just dial it in real quick.
All right, what are you gonna shoot at them?
Well, what would you like? I got frenzigen. I got frag grenades. You want a little frenzigen? What's the wind like, DM?
No. Yeah, let's not do that with us getting close like this. No, go ahead and do a frag for now.
Right, fragmentation out.
Okay. That will be a ballistic skill with a plus 30.
Oh no. I'd love
You
to
have a-
use the fate point.
So, you have a reroll if you'd like. However, it is not a critical fail. 96 and above is a critical fail.
Really wouldn't want to fail with the frag grenade.
That is fair.
Gonna just one fate point. Try again. Woo!
6 degrees of success.
Sarge!
So, the only person who will see this, because essentially, actually 2 people will see this, Warbitch and Ace. Because it is obscured by the smoke. What happens is Rita aims, adjusts, and fires over the smoke. The frag grenade swings and lands and hits the helmet of one of the guys behind the thing, which causes it to flip and spin and land in between 2 of them. One of them being the leader, one of them being the one whose helmet it landed on. Please roll me a damage for your frag grenades.
Oh, Rita,
Why?
we need to be able to figure out who they are.
Damage for the frag grenades.
Yes.
Right. Like that?
Yes.
Is that right?
It is not only a crit, it is also a 1 as well. So could you
We don't
roll?
even know who they are. We just need to pick up the teeth later, you know, for the fillings. Maybe some
So-
nutrient bars.
When you roll a 10, that is Righteous Fury. There are 2 ways you can do Righteous Fury. One is a crit, One is you are so inspired, your faith in the Emperor is so strong, you essentially go a bit OTT. So I'll give you
What's
the choice.
this live for if not for grenades?
It's very true. I'll give you the choice, Rita, of either essentially doing critical damage and taking both of them out, or another shot if you'd like to go for that third guy who's left.
Sarge, what do you think? I could get the other one, maybe?
Why not?
Right. Grenade out!
Grenade out. Please give me same shot, going for that third one. Yeah, I'll give him a chance, but honestly, I don't think he's gonna be able to.
You want me to roll damage?
Let's see if he manages to get out the way.
Gonna
does
peg
not.
him right in the eye.
So, please roll me a damage. $12 damage, okay. So, Ace, Warbitch as well, actually. What you see is a one grenade sail over, hit, spin, land, and just as it's exploding, the other grenade flies over the smoke, lands in the little divot right where the final trooper is lying, just aiming down his sight over the divot, and he's like aiming over towards Warbitch. He's like, I've got you now. And the grenade just whoop, straight in front of him. And he has
Hey,
just
watch
about
out.
enough time to say, oh, and
Careful, mate, there's a grenade. Oh.
and as quickly as it started, the firefight's over.
I'm here to report that there's nothing left of the scene. Thanks to Rita.
You're welcome. Anytime, really.
Would you like for me to report back, Sarge, or stay on the outskirts?
Yeah, keep an eye out for now. Actually,
Uh-huh.
same thing for you, Valkus. Keep an eye out.
Staying put undercover.
We're gonna push forward a little bit and take a look at the scene, and then probably head back out after that. And then I think I don't know how obscuring the smoke is still, but probably start walking towards it, listening for a sympathetic detonation from any other, explosive things that may have been on them. Going slow enough that if they do, I'm not gonna get hit by it, or any of us are gonna get hit by it. But after I don't know, a couple seconds, I'll probably pick up the pace and get to their position, and then try and assess.
While Sarge is walking, can Ace survey the land in front of him through scope to make sure he doesn't walk on any mounds? There was shrapnel and grenades going off. It may have, I don't know, triggered anything else from exploding or getting ready to.
Absolutely. So, the direction that the enemy came from is kind of parallel to the sounds of combat you're hearing off in the distance, which means that most likely they cut through the lines and then started walking in parallel along the rear of the lines. As far as you can tell, seems to just be this one patrol. However, the fact that they used the radio means that there's a possibility they could have called in support of some kind. In terms of around you, you see no signs of any other activity, and you are out of the minefield, so should be fine.
Looks like you have clear water, Sarge, and team. I'll keep an eye out from the side. Do be careful. They did have a radio, no telling if they used it before or after, or why they had it open while screaming, while their bodies got blown to bits.
That's fair
They
enough.
had time to scream.
All right. Well, that was a good job, everybody. Good job. We'll just be vigilant.
Yeah, everyone kind of relaxes, picks themselves up, and
Pick some things from the bodies, maybe?
I mean, Hawk and Lenk head with the sergeant towards the bodies. I'm assuming Rita does as well.
Yeah, just gonna, right behind them. Out of
Right.
sight, really.
As they're going, the lieutenant kind of picks himself up, dusts himself off, looks over at Warbitch, and says, "Good job, von Valkus.
I didn't fucking do anything.
You kept their heads down long enough for us to assault the position."
Save your pity for the weak. And I'm gonna start, like, picking up my gun to see if, like, what's going on, if something jammed or something like that.
It's a machine spirit, probably.
Plus 20 scrutiny, please.
Okay.
For those of you walking up towards the corpses, they are all dead. Unfortunately, when you take a combination of Rita and Ace assaulting a position, you end up with no survivors. Explosions and headshots tend to do that to people.
What can we say? We professionals.
Let's have a look here. That is 4 degrees of success. Yeah, you essentially kind of jimmy the belt loop out of your heavy bolter and just kind of give it a once over where you put it in your hand, you kind of like run through it, and there's one bullet that's near the front that you can feel as a dud. It's just not going to work for you. So
Okay.
you kind of slip that out and
Yeah.
essentially the next critical failure, which would result in a jam, will not be a jam.
Awesome.
So it'll still be a failure, but it won't be a jam.
Okay. Cool.
So the troopers, from what you can tell, actually, let's have from Rita and from the Sarge. Could I have a command roll, please? This will do for what we're checking up on here.
Just straight, no modifiers.
Yeah. Okay, 1 degree of failure. It's a good roll. Oh, and 4 degrees of success. So, Sergeant Keith, you take a quick once over of the, let's call him the commander of the squad. Very clearly a corporal. You can see from the insignia. Additional onto that, a little bit weird. Usually squads, even small patrol squads like this, are led by, in your experience, probably a lieutenant, maybe a sergeant. So, additionally, as Rita makes sure that all of their gear is intact and maybe slips a couple of things into a pocket, they're not well supplied. They have a couple of magazines of ammunition each and no grenades.
Is it only human remains? No sexy blue people.
No sexy blue people.
I'd probably walk over to the lieutenant, or if he comes up to me while I'm looking, either way, I'd note on that and be like, that's a corporal right there. See that, right? So I'm thinking either they've been hit with something and they're doing with what they got, or they're spreading and looking for something. What do you think?
I agree. And it is worrying that, given the fact that we are headed to the front lines, we encountered them before we reached the front lines.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to take it slow. Maybe we should, but I'm afraid we're going to run across more of these little patrols. So whatever we got to do to bust ass, this is the time to do it.
I think it's worthwhile us moving on before anyone comes to investigate the small combat to be had here.
Right. All right, everybody. Get your gear ready. We're going to go.
Aye, Sarge.
What
Aye,
did
Sarge.
Rita find in the
All right.
A few bandoliers of ammunition for autoguns.
ammunition? What are guns? Working?
Yeah, the autoguns are working, yeah.
Two? Sorry, two?
I mean, technically there's 4 autoguns. You won't be able to carry all of them yourself. They are
2 of them.
essentially assault rifles.
Oh, I'll leave them.
Yeah. They are significantly inferior to the entirety of the rest of your weapons, so, you know.
Right. Any teeth?
They have teeth.
Valuable teeth?
Not really.
Alright.
Not very well looked after. Kind of, you know,
Alright.
a few missing, a few brown ones.
Bloody waste of a grenade there was.
So, are you leaving Ace out essentially on point, or are you calling everyone in to essentially get back in formation?
Yeah, I'm calling everyone in. I may have Ace do some forward scouting every now and then as we go forward, but I think we'll probably get together. I will relay to them the possibility that there's a lot more patrols out there, and we shouldn't be seeing this. So extra vigilance, and then just get ourselves situated and then move as fast as we can.
All right. In that case, just everyone, please roll me an athletics. Just take a plus 20. It's not super difficult. It's just how quickly you gather your gear and are ready to be off.
I love that my athletics are always a little too close.
Yeah.
Little-
But, you know,
Oh, it's a lot of running today, Sarge.
Yeah, it was.
it doesn't take a long time for everyone to get ready, but Ace and Warbitch are ready very quickly and essentially raring to go. Sarge takes you a little bit longer, but and Rita, you might want to stop consuming your own goods, as it were. It's clearly having an effect on your stamina.
It's just nutrient bars. What are you talking about?
Gum.
You know what? For this, I mean, even though I am slow moving and everything, I think I probably would have gone over to Hawk just to gauge him, you know? See if he's got a wild look behind his eye or if he's steady or whatnot.
Yeah, he looks a bit disappointed.
Okay. All right.
And because he was on your left and Lenk was on your right, you'll know that he did actually. Yeah, he charged with you and with Rita and Lenk, but he didn't fire his gun even because the smoke and everything. So it was his first combat, and he didn't do anything essentially.
Okay. So I think at this point I'd probably pat him on the back and be like, "Don't worry, you get to warm up your gun eventually. Just stay focused."
Yes, Sarge. I was hoping I'd make a good showing of myself first time out.
Hey, you lived. That's the best showing you can ever do.
So you mean
Fair.
no dinner tonight, first? That's not good.
Is that a rule, Sarge?
Well, I don't know, everybody. Is that a rule?
Well, if you
What's the
die,
rule?
meat is meat, right?
Flesh is
Oh.
flesh.
I don't know. I tell you what, maybe you can make it up to him since you didn't fire your gun. You ask him later. I'm sure they'll give you something to do.
Yes, Sarge.
Oh. That means I get to command someone finally? And Ace smiles and walks up to Rita and says, "You know, nutrient bars are very nice these times, isn't it? I guess you went
yeah.
correct with who we were supposed to get, right? Or are we still holding a bet? Do you still have faith in your fish people?"
All I'm saying is that I think it's a defector, and I'm pretty sure it's related to the blue fish people, you know?
All right. Okay. Keep your faith.
And what did we have you down for?
Well, I said someone we don't expect.
Well, it's so broad that we're not going to expect anyone.
Well, you
You got to narrow it down, mate.
You accepted the deal. The deal is set. And he kind of coy smiles.
Yeah.
Hey, Ace.
Hmm.
If you're gonna command him, you know, you could have him hold up a thing for like target practice, you know?
Oh. Then I can do that thing we talked about of me blindfolding myself and seeing if my shot is just as good by hearing.
I'll hold the mirror too if you want to do the backwards one, you know?
Oh. That sounds glorious. And they're just saying this
hold
is
it
just
for
as
you.
loud enough so you can hear it.
And
I like it.
essentially, I'm assuming that as you start moving off towards the front line, these are conversations that are happening. I will add as well that as you're moving off, Trooper Lenk does pass right next to you, Sergeant Keith, and mutter, "The most worrying thing that's happened today is that Ace is going to have command over someone."
Yeah. That's all right. I think it's going to be a little bit of fun. I would also move myself next to Valkus as we're moving, just very casually, but she'd know I'd be coming over to her.
You can feel the small bubbling, simmering pot of anger. You know, you didn't have much of a view over what she was doing, but I think she's pissed that she didn't hear anything.
Yeah, and I think I would know that because she would. I'd imagine Valkus would have a completely different attitude. She'd be talking a little bit more. She'd be throwing jabs left and right. She's been so quiet.
Yeah.
So I think I'd go. I'd be walking next to her, but I wouldn't say anything. I'd just walk,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Okay. Moving keeps going. As you go, and I'm not going to require a roll for this because to miss it would be essentially impossible for someone with Ace's skills. Ace, eventually you come across tracks. They are tire tracks. They are tread tracks. A tank or troop transport of some kind. In this instance, I'll ask you to roll me a scrutiny, see if you can figure out what exactly they are.
Okay. Oh, look at there. Scrutiny.
Sorry, with the plus done.
I was going to ask. Okay, cool. All right.
3 degrees of success. Yes, they appear to be 3 degrees of success. Pretty good. It appears to be an unladen chimera. A chimera is a troop transport with reasonably heavy weaponry on it as well. Essentially, it doubles as a light assault vehicle and troop carrier. And it appears to be going, as you're heading straight to the front line, it appears to have veered off towards the left and be going on a kind of like a left trajectory.
Towards or away?
Towards.
Oh. Well, look at that. Bitch, Rita,
Yeah?
you see these tracks here?
Uh-huh.
They look like
Obscure,
tracks.
odd. You know what that is?
Oh, is
No.
it? You're like, you're gonna
That's it.
tell me?
No, you know. That is a chimera. And it's going towards the field of battle, but off to the side. Sarge, I'm pretty sure you can come up with an idea of what's happening here.
I got a few. But what are you thinking?
Well, they're veering off. It's quite odd. Not very artistic. Straight lines is more my play. But this curvature here, something happened or a last-minute decision. Maybe one of them called out to them. Maybe it has what we're looking for.
Oh, maybe.
Hard
maybe,
to tell.
yeah. Well, they're going for a flank. I think at this point, after he's doing all this and he's saying stuff, I think I'm turning my brain towards it as hard as I can. Like, I'm really trying to figure out why the fuck it would be doing this.
Okay. Sorry.
Maybe it's injured.
Maybe
Again.
it doesn't give a shit. Maybe it heard a sound. Maybe it wants to fuck something over there.
All valid points.
Like little
Thank
baby
you.
chimeras.
For you, Sarge, again, you don't really need a role here. This is something you've been doing for a long time, and you can posit theories easily enough. The most likely ones being is that it is a friendly troop carrier carrying troops to the front who had to divert to a certain point for unknown reasons, or it's an enemy troop carrier that's been moving behind your lines or your allies' lines, dropping off people like the squad who you just encountered for essentially disruption missions.
All right. I think with those possibilities, I know what I would want to do considering what the mission is, but I'm gonna go to the lieutenant and push him information over. Even the stupid shit that they were saying, which is amazing. It's like, I don't know, when they go fuck something. I don't know. But yeah, I'd be talking to him and saying, I mean, essentially, we can push in the direction we're supposed to go. This could have something to do with it. This could take us off course. It's one of those things where it's a crapshoot. I'm not really comfortable following it, but you might have more information than I have.
I think, given the recent revelation of possibly the front lines being in more dire states than we were expecting, we should avoid any possible complications. The mission comes first.
That's right. That's fine. Just as long as that's not a part of it. And then after that, I would relay some stuff to them, ask Ace to keep an eye out for anything similar, and probably with the assumption that we have no fucking idea what we're walking into.
Yeah.
So it's
They
that.
still lean in.
Yeah.
And he'll say, keep an eye out for what's in front of us or what's behind us. And he'll kind of like glance over his shoulder.
Yeah,
Need
right
eyes
here.
everywhere. All right.
Hey, Parzival.
Yeah.
I have a new bet. Can I change my bet? You know how I bet?
You never made a bet. You can change it now, I suppose. Well, you put in some gum, and you didn't say what for. So I have gum here, written down.
My bet's on
What would you
Hawk.
like? What's that?
My bet's on Hawk.
Your bet's on hawk?
Yeah.
Like a little muty bird?
No?
Oh, you mean we're gonna find the crib?
The newbie?
Yeah.
Is his name not Hawk?
His
Yeah,
name's
yeah.
Hawk.
Wait a minute. Are
gonna-
y'all, are y'all talking?
Yeah, I
Are you
think.
talking about who's gonna go down first? Or are you guys talking about what we're gonna
no.
find?
We were
Because
talking about who we were gonna find.
We just
We could
figured
make
out
a
the
new bet.
Sarge's.
All
The
right, all right.
Sarge's faith in Hawk. Amazing.
There's no way that we'd be betting on who goes down first, because it's very obviously going to be Hawk.
Yeah. I mean, we all know it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Hawk.
No, I'm just saying he's
What?
the bad guy. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's
Hawk's gonna
interesting.
betray
That's my
us
bet.
all?
I was
My bet.
looking at Hawk from a distance. It looked like he was about to shit his pants and pee at the same time.
Hawk's like
Yes.
a little ways off, like maybe not in earshot, but you're not 100% sure. Like looking out, seeming like he's trying to be, kind of vigilant, and
I'm not trying to be quiet.
yeah,
I'm not
Looks a
speaking in
mate.
hushed
Looks a mate.
tones.
he probably heard you, most likely.
That's all right.
Poor guy.
We love you, Hawk.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah, we love you.
Oh.
You're gonna be
Hey.
fine, mate.
Thank you.
Just watch yourself, Hawk.
You're gonna be fine. Don't worry. We got you.
I'm receiving some mixed messages.
No, you're fine. You keep going.
Right you are.
Definitely going down first, yeah.
Again,
Anyway, we even made a bit for that one.
As you're talking and etc., I have made the assumption that you're moving. The one thing I need,
yeah.
Sarge, is do you want to head straight or do you want to veer a little bit away from the...
It depends
the-
on how dramatic it turned. If it's almost a 90
kind of
degree,
45 degrees?
oh, it's 45. Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
veer away. Yeah,
Okay.
we would absolutely just be like, no fucking way, and we would try and go around. But if we were moving off in a different direction than we had originally planned, then I'd have Ace probably a little bit further out than normal, just to keep his eyes out, because I wouldn't be
Okay.
as comfortable.
And Ace, I'm assuming you're... essentially, you're keeping an eye on where you're headed, but you're probably also, like, you know, just in case, every now and then having a little bit of a... Is there anyone behind us?
Yeah, he's got his cloak up, and what he said to the Sarge was more so for just between them, the lieutenant.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, he has his cloak up, and he knows what it does. So he is being
gonna be
very
hard to
very
spot.
overcautious. Yeah, he's just watching everywhere he can, kind of like
in
a
that
bird.
case, little time passes, maybe 10 minutes or so. A good amount of kind of... I think it would probably not be double time, but kind of like an advanced, quick march, let's say, as you're going through. Please give me, Ace, an awareness. You may take plus 20 on this one.
Ooh, okay. Oops. Oh my God, bro! Don't bring up the JavaScript. Okay, here we go.
Wow. Okay.
Literally a hawk.
We will pass by the additional scrutiny to figure out what you see in more detail, because with 6 degrees of awareness, or 6 degrees of success on awareness, you're gonna pretty much have it all down pat. So you're getting close to the front line now. Still a little ways away, but the sounds of battle are getting closer. You can see the flashes now in the distance. And you see, starts off as kind of, it's starting to get a bit darker. It's not yet even like, you know, anywhere close to twilight, but the sun's starting to go down. And you see a few shadows, a kind of bunching of shadows, essentially walking across an open field, a fair distance away from you. My assumption is you'll do the standard hand up, knee, and then just scope in to check out what you're looking at. And I can tell you that this time you recognize the uniform. It is the same as the PDF troopers who you met back at the HQ.
Okay. Hold. And Ace takes a look. Also hold your fire. Weapons down. This looks familiar. PDF troopers, uniforms identifiable. We might have found where we're looking for. Sarge, orders. Proceed or fall back with you.
Go ahead and fall back, but only a little bit, and just sort of keep an eye on our flank as we're moving forward, just in case.
I'll stay undercover. Cloak is up.
Right.
I'll let you know if there's any dangers to worry about. And this time I won't pull the trigger fast. I'll let you ask questions.
All right, well, you know, I trust your judgment. And then I think with that, we get up and keep going after his signal to pause. And I think, considering, I think Sarge is probably not wary of the people in front of them, but
Cautious.
people do. Yeah, you know, uniforms are uniforms, and you can get them off of corpses. So he's going forward, but in good faith, just but aware.
As you're going forward, are you taking anyone with you, or are you gonna go solo?
So I think that I would be probably walking. I'd be walking ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
I would have relayed everything to them, just to be mindful of what we're going into. But again, it's that idea that, you know, if I take a bullet, they're going to react, and I know they'll react hard. So I'm just going to start going forward in front.
Okay.
Can I
As
make a
you-
quick note?
Yes.
Ace will have his, since he's under cloak, he'll be laying down, gun ready, just in case.
Covering.
And not only is he watching in front, he's watching behind as well.
Okay. As you move forward, there comes a point when you're very obviously noticed, and an immediate, alertness. Like as you see them moving, they're already kind of moving in formation. Is clearly like a patrol of some kind, and when they see you, there's kind of a little spreading out. A couple of them go down on the knee. There's a preparedness, and a challenge is shouted over, which is essentially, who goes there?
Right. So I would just respond, you know, this is Sergeant Keefe. We're here on a mission, and hoping y'all can help us out.
There's kind of a very hesitant pause, and then right, we'll meet halfway. My men will cover me, yours can cover you.
Sounds good.
And the figure steps forward, and you can see him now. He's in very basic PDF fatigues. He has a sergeant's insignia on his shoulder, and when he gets to you, he kind of stops a little outside of what I would essentially say is melee range, but it's essentially arms range. So you're not going to be able to immediately slash him down, and shoulders his weapon. In a very kind of my weapon is pointed at the ground, but it could very quickly be pointed at you kind of stance.
Right. Yeah.
And he says, Sergeant Lorak, Planetary Defense Force.
So I do call outs, but I think I'm studying this guy's face as I go through my own spiel. I'm looking at him, and I'm looking for any sign of recognition, for who and what we are.
Mm.
And if what he says looks like he's being honest about it.
Okay.
Got my eyes on him as hard as I can.
In that case, for going forward, please roll me a scrutiny. And seeing as you are the same rank, I'll give you a +10, because sergeants understand sergeants.
Yeah. All right.
Of course, if it was a lieutenant or higher, I would have given them -10, because officers don't understand sergeants and can't tell when they're lying. Okay, so 2 degrees of failure. What this means, essentially, is you still may be able to pick up things, but they may not be right.
Okay.
You're not going to get nothing from him. But
Yeah.
the legitimacy of what you get is called into question for you.
Fair enough. So since I'm probably on uneven footing, I'll just be like, all right, Sergeant, I tell you what. We're looking for something. 2 somethings. I don't know if you know anything about that, but we met a little resistance back there that we didn't expect. Now, I don't know what's going on with the line here, but it seems like there's gaps in it. You know what that's all about?
First up, do you have a glow stick?
I radio back to Parzival.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need something from you. You think you can come forward? Don't.
Sure. Right
Alright.
there. Parzival putting all of her drugs back in her. Yes, Sarge.
Trots up.
Feel like,
Sorry.
yeah, it's all right. Just take a breath. It's all right. I'm sorry. I should
No,
said.
fine. Fine.
All right. Anyway, Sarge. Think maybe you and Parzival here could do a little business. You ask her the question, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is her decision, and I'm just gonna sort of step to the side and just see what happens.
Do you, by any chance, have a low stick on you? Supplies have been unfortunately low.
Well, Parzival looks back at the sergeant for like, yeah?
And-
Well, for a sergeant, of course I do. I've got about a half of one right here. Could even do you
Much.
better. I've got some, got an ammunition bandolier for an auto gun. You guys got auto guns, yeah?
They got las guns.
Ah, never mind. Keep that.
So
Say, I got
yeah.
a rat pack too. You got rat packs? Be willing to trade it?
We did. Although for now we are scavenging what we can.
Yeah, well, I got a red pack right here. It's quite nice, really. Pretty fresh. Not even any mold on it yet.
I don't have that much to trade.
That's alright. That's never mind. Get us anything, it's probably bad anyway.
Just a low stick would
Sure.
suffice.
Yeah, you know, I got a small little bit of silver jewelry. It could be kind of nice, you know, sparkling. Maybe for special someone back home. It's pretty genuine, I think.
Maybe another time.
All right. Gum? Never mind. Here you go.
Thank you.
Parzival gives him a whole low stick. So,
Wow.
Nice. And he lights it up and kind of relaxes a little bit and looks at you, Sarge. If you don't mind, the first question is: you are not wearing the uniform of our planetary defense forces. Therefore, I assume you are.
From off planet. I think you can understand who and what we are to some degree. And he's narrows his eyes. All he's trying to do is see how much information this guy might have for any purpose, for any reason.
My first thought was reinforcements, however, that might be a little bit... Then, second thought, some sort of special assignment. Well, however I can help.
All right. Well, we need a little intel as we're moving forward here. I don't know if the line's broken or what, but trying to avoid as many engagements as possible. The other thing is we're looking for something. I'm sure you can understand, Sarge, that the sort of thing we're looking for, I couldn't tell you.
Of course.
Which means I need an area where things like that might be. Sort of things you don't really talk about.
Just because it was last episode, you are currently searching for a captain. Captain Lissark, who is on the front line somewhere.
Right. So, would I go ahead and say that right out? Because the priority of what this person was, and just how very secretive the lieutenant was being,
Well, the captain you're looking for is the last known person to have been in contact with the VIP.
With this individual.
So, yeah.
So, I think that, I guess for that information, I'd probably just pass that along. We're looking for a captain. I'm sorry, what was the name again? Lasark?
Yes, Lasark.
Yeah, Lasark. So, yeah, we're looking for a captain Lasark. You and happen to know where he might be located?
Yes, Captain Lasark was recently promoted to overall commander of the front lines. If you head straight towards the front lines, jump in the trench, take a left, eventually you'll hit his bunker.
All right. Well, you've been really helpful. Appreciate that.
The front lines are under a small amount of strain. I don't suppose you've seen any signs of enemy vehicle activity.
Yeah, what we did. So Chimera, well, this is an assumption, you understand. But a little ways back, and we probably would have been marking distances, so I'd tell him, it's like a little ways back, we saw some tracks. My guy picked it up, saw that they sort of changed direction all of a sudden, and then I'd sort of be, trying to say, probably head off in roughly that direction.
Give him basic like triangulation so he can kind of cut them off.
Yeah.
Thank you. That will mean we will get our job done quicker. Apologies for cutting our meeting short, but we have a tank to hunt.
Yeah, well, I wish you good luck.
And yourselves. Keep your head down once you get to the front line.
All right. Good advice. Probably walk over to Parzival and I don't know. I pat her on the shoulder, like, that was perfect.
Hi. Is it prize?
And head on back to everybody else.
Parzival's gonna tenderly touch this. Oh wow.
The sergeant moves his squad out, like kind of gives you a slight wide berth still. And you can see that one of them has this kind of like rocket launcher kind of slung on their shoulder, and another one has what looks like a grenade launcher, a different type to what you have, Rita. Not quite as nice in your opinion, but
all right, so we'd probably head as quickly as we could to the trenches to hop in, bang that left, and head over to wherever that bunker is. I'd relay everything to the lieutenant during all of this. Same sort of orders for everybody else. Keep their eyes out as we're moving forward.
good job, Sergeant. Carry on.
Right. And then keep going.
Okay. You keep moving forward. As you get closer and closer, you can hear the thumps of explosions and possibly artillery. As you get closer, you know what? Let's have an awareness from everyone. It'll be -10, but
I'm still laying down watching everything, so...
Ooh. Well, the squad's moved off, so you can have jumped up and essentially...
Oh, okay, well, if that's the case, then Ace will come out last, and I guess walk past the troop that they were talking to, and he kind of just, like, waves his arm, and all you see is a hand, I guess, like, pop out of it, and he'll just keep walking under the cloak.
A little bit of a shimmer.
Yeah.
Rita
Alright,
trips a little bit.
awareness.
Oh.
Yeah. Right there. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little walking today, you know?
You need to, do a little bit more running there. All right. So you said awareness -10.
Yes, please.
Look at you, I did it, but it didn't go through. Is it slow?
Sometimes.
There it is,
Yeah,
this
there you
slow.
Okay. So, Ace, you can definitely hear what sounds like artillery, but it's not as regimented. It's not as organized enough to be artillery. You think possibly it may be something else, possibly grenades, but again, doesn't really fit the bill. Sarge, with your 3 degrees of success and a roll of a 5, these are actually most likely tank cannon shots. It implies that they are using it in substitution, again from the sounds of it, not very well, for suppressive artillery.
Okay. All right.
Which implies there's not that much artillery going on here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about it. I'd probably look to see if anyone is concerned. I doubt anyone really is outside of Hawk, but I think as we're moving forward, if anyone, perks their ears up, and I'm just, don't worry about it, and then keep going.
Okay.
Nah, Ace is just kind of listening to it like classical music, and he's just like,
It is not very artful at all. It is,
yeah, he is like disgusted at this point.
Amateurish at best. And as you get closer, you start to see flashes in the distance, and the sounds of battle come into focus. Heavy weapons, grenades, the occasional tank blast or tank cannon shot. It appears that there is an assault happening along the line.
Well, they
As you
started
move
the
up-
party without us.
As you move up, you can essentially get yourself to a position where you are within what is essentially some cover and foliage, some rocks, boulders, etc. A fair ways away from the fight, but with a good view over it. You can see the muzzle flashes from the trench line and past as very disorganized, almost in skirmish formation. They're very spread apart. And what it appears to be is a half-hearted attempt at an assault. Sarge, please roll me a command with a +10.
Oh,
Okay. 1 degree of failure. So, essentially, what this looks like to you is someone said charge, and that is it. The way that the enemy is fighting is very much, we were told to attack, so we're attacking. That doesn't mean we have the forces to attack. So essentially they charge forward, they find positions where they can fire from, they exchange fire, and then they retreat. It doesn't look like a concerted attack effort.
all right.
And you're far enough away to not get involved with this if you want. However, if you want, you can, charge to the trench line, set up, and just add to the fire if you like.
Well, we're trying to find this captain, right? We're trying to stay on task as much as possible. So, no, I check with the lieutenant, but no, I wouldn't touch this. I'd let them, whoever the hell's in charge over there. I don't want to talk to him. So, I just get pissed off at him. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Other than that, yeah, no, stay away from it.
I agree, Sergeant. Let the attack peter out, and then we'll join the trench.
All right, everybody. Let's post up for a little bit. Take a minute. Take a knee. I need 2 people to keep sort of a watch around us for now. Everybody else?
Immediately, Hawk's hand goes up. Sir? And then
I'll go with Hawk.
he sees Vorvalkus's hand go up. He's like,
No.
All right,
I'll go
you
with
two. It's
Hawk.
perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
Not giving him a chance to put his hand down. All right. You two,
All right,
you
Hawk.
know what to do. Well, actually, I don't know, Hawk, if you know what to do. Valkus, make sure you tell him what to do.
Oh, I will.
Excellent. This is going to be a great show from the sidelines.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
what?
punch Hawk in the arm, like pretty hard.
Ah,
Like, hey. This'll be fun.
yes. Yes.
Want to hear some stories?
She's already asserting dominance.
Some more
Do I have a
stories.
choice?
No.
No.
Then yes.
Be a little bit more enthused. Thanks.
Okay. And very hesitantly and looking like suddenly he needs to go to the loo, Hawk walks onto essentially like a observation point with Von Valkus. Additionally, Lenk, literally the second you say, take a knee, he immediately sits down on his helmet, just starts going over his gear and kind of zoning out, taking 5. Lieutenant, a little bit restless, kind of pacing up and down, but nothing too bad.
Hey, Hawk.
Does it? Yes.
How old are you?
20.
20. Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Why did you want to join?
Serve the Emperor.
That's right. Good answer. You know what I was doing when I was your age?
Learning to use that heavy bolter there?
I was at least shooting something. You want to pick up the pace, newbie?
I fully intend next time to fire my weapon and hit something as well.
Good. Because, I have been known for missing my target a couple of times, so. Why are you looking at me? Look out there.
Right. Doesn't seem to be going very well, does it?
What?
He points out at the troops fighting and dying. The fight.
I mean, I guess it depends on how you define well.
Winning?
How do you define winning? Listen, if you get out alive, then you've won. I guess if you've killed more than everyone else, you've also kind of won. And especially if you kill someone you know, you've definitely won. So maybe it's going super well.
Right. I kind of thought if you get given an order to attack and like push the enemy out of the trench and you do that, then that's kind of a win, isn't it?
Is that what you're looking for?
Oh,
Pretty clean wins? Is that why you joined up? Feel good about yourself. Clean little underwear with your initials sewn in them.
regardless as that may be, I still think that I can contribute to this squad and help us achieve our objectives. If that's okay.
Are you asking my permission? Lesson number 1, Hawk. There you go. Don't ask anyone's permission, just do your job. Do it better than anyone else. Be the one who knows how to do it better than anyone else. And don't let me catch you pissing your pants in smoke again.
Alright.
Why are you looking at me? Look out there!
Right.
Jesus.
So, before we carry on, during the fiver, anyone else have anything they need to say to anyone, or any conversations that happen, or is it kind of just a bit more of a professional silence where everyone's going over their gear and just like, you know, kind of. I could see Ace doing his fingernails, just making sure that, you know, they're pristine. To the sounds of like people fighting and dying just over the ridge.
Yeah, pretty much got a knife and digging in there, but he has his eyes on the lieutenant. He can't stand that damn guy. So he's just over there like.
Okay.
I'm
And,
periodically
looking
sorry,
away.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You wanna bully the kid a bit more, do you? Okay.
I was going to, but there's no point now. Sorry.
So, about maybe 5 minutes, probably a little bit over 5 minutes, but who's counting, pass, and the fire dies down a little bit. The larger shots, there appear to be a couple of mortars as well on both sides. It's pretty light for... It's pretty light for a front line. You've been on much heavier fire in front lines, but it is what it is. Kind of continue. Occasional shots ring out from both trench lines as people just, you know, try their luck. But the fighting has died down, and the trench is now, well, not clear. There are people in it, but... And the lieutenant kind of listens for a second. Things seem a bit more quiet. Looks at you, Sergeant, and says, "Seems clear enough to start searching for that captain."
Yeah, I agree. All right, everybody. Let's get ready to go.
Yes, Sarge. Immediately,
Hey,
like,
fam.
jumps up and runs back to the squad.
Boy. That boy makes me tired just watching him. I don't really say that to anyone specifically. I just say it out. Like, if anyone hears it, they hear it.
Yeah.
And then I think as we're getting sort of situated, I'm keeping an ear out. I'm still looking around as well, but I think that I'm trying to get a feel for how everyone's doing after the day. You know, we've been moving a lot.
Yeah.
We've gone a pretty good distance. We've had a fight, so I'm just trying to get a feel of how, you know, any fatigue, anything that could cause us an issue in the next however long it takes for us to go to where we need to and what we're about to do.
Yeah, just doing a quick read from what you can see, I would say that Reader's not super happy about all the marching and all the, you know, trekking over stuff, but at the end of the day,
Pouring sweat.
yeah. But
Like
he's
a
still
sauna
going.
in here. Cooking egg on me.
The recruit and Lenk, the veteran looks fine. He's not as young as he used to be, but he's got tenacity. And the younger recruit is... It seems eager, a little concerned, but so is anyone who talks to Warbitch for more than 5 minutes. Lieutenant seems a little bit nervous, a little bit jumpy, but around combat, he's always a bit like that. And I would say, correct me if I'm wrong for both of you, but I would say Warbitch seems a little frustrated, which is always good if you're about to go into combat,
That
but
is
bad
correct,
if you're
yes.
having some downtime. And Ace seems a mixture of content and a little bit dreamy. But then, when his shooting goes off without a hitch, he's always like that.
Let the violins play. You see, Warbitch, art was made today. I can show you a little bit of art yourself, and maybe You'll have something in common.
Do you want to have something in common with me?
And he opens his eyes, he's like, oh, this is gonna be good. He leans in. What is it?
What's what?
You asked if I wanted to have something in common with you. Now what is that?
Well, it certainly fucking isn't art.
Oh.
Just fucking.
Oh.
Boom. Boom. So stupid.
You don't hear it. Well, of
Do
course
you
you
hear
don't,
it?
because these squads I here have no actual idea what the fuck they're doing. But when my shots go off, the symphony plays. Now, I will say I was off on mark. I was trying to shatter a jawbone because it was correcting his right side of his face, and I slipped and hit the neck.
That's gonna just eat you up for the rest of your life, isn't it? In your waking
Absolutely,
dreams.
until I correct that mistake. So what do we have in common? I'm interested. Enlighten me.
Killing shit. That's about it, I'd imagine. We have our different, processes. But, at the end of the day, we end up with the same result. Wouldn't you agree?
Ah, yes. I would agree. They're not moving, we are. We've gotten here long enough today to be there. So far, and he looks over at Hawk. As long as we're not babysitting for long.
Yeah.
Ace. How generous are you feeling at the moment?
He hit his shots. He's having a good conversation with War Bitch. There's no bickering or nothing, so I guess he's kind of on a high.
There are moments during the heat of battle when you could generously compare the rat-a-tat-tat of Warbitch's heavy bolter to something akin to drums. Not important necessarily to the orchestra, but
Excuse
a
the
nice
fuck out
little
of me?
addition.
Not important to the orchestra? Want to watch your
Well-
mouth there, bud?
Here's the deal. Let me explain. You know, your percussion of your bolt rifle or whatever you call it is delightful at most. You see, the original orchestration goes through and the crowd is pleased. But what brings it all together are the drums, the percussion of it all. And I believe if you lean more into that and sync up with the orchestra, you'll hit your shots even more artistically. And we can dive into ecstasy together. Wouldn't you
Didn't
agree?
like how you said that. Gotta be honest. Didn't like how you said that, but sure. Yeah, I will
What is wrong with it? It's art.
spray
I'm trying
with
to help
beads.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. You got it. And he kind of smiles and looks at her and he says, take it as a compliment. You know, they don't come very often. But I am starting to like your style. I think I can match something with it if you can't. You mentioned dancing earlier. A swoop with a sway. Yeah?
All right. You got yourself a deal. I'll try to shoot more percussive.
Yes. Precisely.
And talking as you walk, you get to the edge of the trench. It's about shoulder height. It's not particularly impressive, but it does afford a decent amount of cover. You do also notice, not to put too fine a point on it, bodies. Some in the bottom of the trench, some at the back. There are also troopers, PDF troopers up and down. They don't pay much attention to you aside from just to note your advance. And once you jump in, you get a few strange looks, but essentially it's above their pay grade. They are quite drawn out, bags under the eyes, look stressed, and kind of like... I'll give this to you, Sarge, and you imagine the lieutenant may pick up on it as well. They look like people who've been in combat for too long, and they kind of don't really give much of a shit anymore.
Yeah, all right. I think I probably wouldn't pay them any mind, because if they're at this point, then they're just on the rails, I guess. Not gonna get any good conversation out of them. Not gonna get any really good information or anything other than like, where is this? Give me a quick answer, and then just move on. So I think if we're going to go ahead and get into the how big is this trench, by the way?
That's about 5 people wide.
Okay,
And
all right.
kind of shoulder height deep.
So 5 people. Okay, so yeah, I think
Enough space to maneuver a squad down.
I'm going to, yeah, we'll get everybody in there and start moving through. Actually, I think I will take it slow for Parzival, for her to look through stuff, but also to give her a breather and just be like, check that one too.
I'm just checking it. I'm just gonna check it just for a minute here on the ground.
No.
Then, yeah, go ahead.
No one seems to care too much that you're checking their buddies' bodies, but I will tell you, they've all been picked clean.
Which is fine.
No feelings or anything?
Nothing.
Old feelings? Nothing?
Quite a few of them have had their boots and socks taken.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Don't forget to check under that one right there.
Yeah, looking under and all around.
I'll add as well, as you're walking through the trench line, assuming you're taking the left because that's the directions the sergeant gave you.
Yep.
As you're walking, like there are multiple times where you see like a trooper kind of like leaning with his back, kind of sitting down with his back against the trench, facing the enemy, with his gun kind of slung on his shoulder. And you're not 100% sure if they're alive or dead. They're not moving and they're just kind of like slumped. It has that vibe to it.
Yeah, I'd probably be looking for people with wild eyes as well, because those are the dangerous ones in these situations. So, anyone that is off, I'd probably I would look at everybody else and then nod at them. I'd imagine they'd know anyway, just to step around, pay attention. Keep going.
I will say, discipline seems to be holding, at the very least. There's a certain fatalistic or disinterested vibe, but what we will do is, as you finally come to a semi-collapsed bunker with a couple of PDF troopers outside, we will take a break.
Thank the Emperor.
In a trench line. A few shots being exchanged up and down the line, not much. Occasional thwomp of a mortar. But, for the most part, and this area does have more troops. They seem a little bit more with it, but that's just possibly because they're most likely right next to their commander. 2 guards on the front of the bunker essentially clock you, stiffen up a little bit, kind of like prepared, but seeing as you're walking along their trench line, not a whole load of much. I am assuming that you want to approach them.
Yeah. I think probably I probably have the lieutenant right next to me, and I'm letting him be in charge in this situation. If we're getting ready to see a captain, then I'm letting him take that.
Yes. So the lieutenant steps forward, and he says, "Oh, where's the thing here? There he is. Lieutenant Irasian, the Ultimus Fideli Tastorian Regiment. Here to see Captain Lesoc. And one of the guards kind of notes the name. You would all have a decent idea of. The name carries some significance to the worlds around here. You have visited a couple of them. And those worlds no longer have anyone really on them. So, you know, like, they're trained, they're professional, but there is a flash of like, oh, shit. And the lieutenant says, oh, I have come from speaking with Governor Sterngelt. He has kindly sent me to see the captain. And there's a second of hesitation, at which point essentially both of the guards on the door look at each other for a second, give that look of this is both above our pay grade and also above our rank, and step by. And the lieutenant gives a sign of the Aquila, nods, and steps in. Pauses as he's stepping through and says, Sergeant, if you wish to accompany me, you may. The rest of you, please, don't cause any trouble, and take 5.
Yeah, I follow.
Okay. So, you walk in with the lieutenant. It is not nice in here, but it's nicer than the rest of what you've seen of the outside here. There is a strategy table, for want of a better word. It has a vague map with hastily drawn and redrawn lines. And there is a captain by himself sitting behind a desk that's missing a leg and is essentially propped up by a couple of like bits of rubble. And he looks up and says, "Oh, greetings." He does the sign of the Aquila. Lieutenant, Sergeant. You're not. Sorry. And he stands up and walks over, holds out his hand to Lieutenant, shakes the Lieutenant's hand, nods at you. Sorry, I was expecting someone else. You're not our reinforcements, are you?
No, we're not. We're not reinforcements. We're here on a very specific mission. And I think at this point, I don't know if the lieutenant speaks up or not, but I'd say, you know, like, Ultimus Fideli, and we're in a hurry.
You're not here on regimental business, though.
No.
And the lieutenant also chips in and says, No, we're special assignments. I had a word with Governor Sterngelt, and he pointed us in your direction as you had lost contact with our objective. A man who was on deployment on this planet. Special mission. There's like maybe a second, maybe 2, and then a look of recognition. And the captain. Yes, I was assigned to him for 6 months, until we lost Major Jarek a couple of weeks ago. So ran out of majors, unfortunately. Now all we've got is captains, and I'm in charge of the entire front line, unfortunately.
Oh, this is your handiwork out here with the popping up and running over and whatnot.
I've done what I can.
No, it's fine.
Every-
I mean, it's fine.
Every now and then, we get an order to attack. I send out the word, and they attack.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like, you can see that he's... There's no shame there.
He
It's
doesn't have
just...
the knowledge, and he's in a bad place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not happy about it, but orders are orders kind of thing. If you like, Lieutenant, I can point out, and he kind of points towards the map, I can point out the last known location of your objective. I'm afraid I haven't stayed in contact. I left some of my previous assignment, my men, with him, so they should still be there. He was adamant about not pulling out. And he, like, walks over. There's, like, a big, long trench line, and there's multiple, like, cuts through it, which kind of designate, you know, broken line or enemy breakthroughs and etc. And in the opposite direction from which you came, all the way along at the end of the line, is a big kind of round circular structure that is designated as Hive Asteroid. And he says, I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but your objective I hope you don't mind, we won't use code names or anything. He is a man named Amorous. He is on the northeastern side of the hive in a bunker, holding out against enemy attack. Unfortunately for you, that is the other side of the hive from where we are now.
All right. How much intel you got for the area? I'll take anything you got.
Some. And he looks at the lieutenant and says, take a look at the map, figure out where you're going and how you're going to get there, and I'll fill your sergeant in on the technical, tactical details. And then he, like, leads you away a little bit, and sits down, or like at his desk. There's a, you know, couple of chairs there which you can pull up as well. Reaches into his pocket, pulls out this little kind of hip flasky looking thing, pours it in, and hands over a glass to you. It's Amasec. It's not high quality, but Amasec is essentially fermented wine type thing, alcohol in 40k.
I think I take it and I take a sip, and I take it. I grab it and I sort of just look at him, take a sip, just sort of nod at him. No real reaction to what I'm drinking. Just probably happy to have it, honestly. So, yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll just sort of sit and wait for him to talk.
You can probably get to the hive before nightfall. My advice would be to get into the hive, find a burned out building that is unoccupied, and bung down for the night.
All right, it's good enough advice.
the hive city is mostly unoccupied. In the early stages of the war, it was mostly bombed out. There are still structures and pathways leading through it, but tanks can't get through, and anything larger than a squad is going to have a difficult time. Unfortunately, some of the civilians in there are armed. There are enemy squads dotted all over the hive, as well as friendly squads, which are less friendly now.
All right, I get it. All right, so it's a shit situation. All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, how much time we got to nightfall? I don't know if I've been keeping track. I imagine I would be, but I'd probably say this outwardly.
Yeah. Probably about 2 hours.
All right. Anything else you can give me?
Something I would like to ask of you. When you came here, the lieutenant mentioned you met the governor. Which means you were at the headquarters. Were there any signs of mobilization, sending in reinforcements?
So, remembering back to that, I do remember that there was some pockets of people, but yeah, I didn't see anything like that, did I, at all? Yeah. Nope. Nothing. I think you're,
Like, his shoulders slump a bit and his head kind of slumps, but it's more like, yeah, I pretty much figured.
I mean, best thing I can say is hold out for as long as you can, you know, redirect where you can, hold up positions. I mean, looking at that map over there, you're losing spots one after the other, so...
We don't have enough men or ammunition anymore to hold all of the line. I have to patch up the best places I can.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, it's a waiting game at this point. I'm sorry you're in this situation.
I mean, I don't have to go into a broken city and find one person in a haystack of angry needles.
Yeah, that's true. I envy you right now. That's true. All right.
So,
All right.
3 days.
3 days.
I would say if your objective is to retrieve Amorous, pull him out, and, well, the rest isn't really important. We'll probably be able to hold for 3 more days. Any longer and any retreats will be a rout, and we all know what happens when you rout.
All right. Well, that's actually pretty generous considering what that map looks like, so I really appreciate that. 3 days. Okay. We'll do it. I'd wish you good luck, but I don't think it's going to help you none.
We have the Emperor with us, and my men are made of sterner stuff than it may seem.
That's fair enough. I mean, I took a look at them on the way in. They were, most of them still had that look that they could get out there and fight.
They still charge when the order to charge is given, which, given the circumstances, is a small miracle.
Yeah. All right. LT, you need to look at anything else over there before we, because we're going to have to round up and get going if we're going to get there and, well, before that sun sets.
Right you are, Sergeant. No, I have a very basic idea. He, like, walks over and shows you. He's basically, like, drawn out. Actually, it's quite nice, detailed map of the essential way you need to go, and a few details on the Hive City as well. It's not super intricate, but
All right. I probably assess as much as I can any little bits of information. I don't know how much I'm gonna get, and then probably. Well, thank you, Captain. Hope to be seeing you again. Actually.
same. And if you see any sergeants, do send them my way. I need to do another round of promotions. We lost 5 more lieutenants today.
All right. I'll make sure to do that.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Right. LT.
Yes. Captain, we wish you the best of luck in your endeavors and wish we could stay to assist you. Unfortunately, and the captain's like switched off at this point where he's just like, but the lieutenant carries on, and wish that you the best of valor in combat. And like kind of stiffly gives the sign of the Aquila, turns and walks out.
I nod at the captain and I follow.
You walk back out, leaving a slightly despondent captain. You know, he's made of stern enough stuff, you think. But there's a difference between knowing that you're not going to get reinforcements and having someone confirm that you're not getting reinforcements. So.
Whew.
Yeah. Walk back out. Trooper Lenk, Trooper Hawk, Warbitch, Ace, Rita, all standing around. Yeah, one thing you'll notice is that the guards seem a little bit deflated. It's possible that they had a, like, you know, standoff with some of your troops and lost. It's kind of hard to be intimidating, especially in the face of, well, you know, your troops.
I don't know. I'd probably come out and just look at them, see if they're in good spirits, or maybe not good spirits, but maybe jovial from a little, I don't know, word sparring or whatever the hell they were doing with these guards. If they look like they're in good spirits, then to some degree, especially with the guards looking deflated, I'd probably give them a slight smile and a nod and be like, all right, we got ourselves a time limit now that we didn't have one before, but this area is fallen. There's not much they can do. We know there's no extra help coming for them here, so we're going to be going in that direction. There's a hive. It's going to be difficult's not even the right word for it. So you can insert whatever definition you want for that. Y'all ready? We always are.
Where are we going, Sergeant? Sorry, a little bit too keen.
Yeah. So I point in literally the opposite direction that we came. It's like, we're going that way.
It's getting darker, but you can see, because it's massive, you can see that, well, it's not as massive anymore, but you can see kind of a vague outline in the kind of like slowly heading towards twilight of the planet. In more ways than one, actually.
Right, we going now? Huh? Are we heading out now?
Yeah, we're gonna head out now. We're gonna see how much distance we can make before that before the night comes, and we're gonna have to go through this thing pretty much to the other side, so I don't have to tell you how difficult that's gonna be.
Great.
I don't know. I think it'll be a little bit of fun, right?
Hell yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well,
Sarge,
yeah.
compared to what they're facing here, how we looking?
What do you mean? You talking about like how much resistance we're gonna be getting, or how fast this place is gonna fall?
Yes.
We're on uneven ground right now. Anyone here is. So, going forward, we just gotta watch a step.
The Emperor will take care of us, don't worry.
You just tell me if you need to level it, Sarge.
All right. I will.
Right, Sergeant, I think if we're going to get there before night falls, we should head out.
Right you are, LT. Right you are. All right, everybody. Let's go.
Okay. And you start heading back down the trench line. Now, there are no attacks by either side, most likely because it's starting to get dark, and no one particularly fancies fighting in the dark. So, for the next little bit over an hour, you tread through trench lines. It is muddy, bloody, bodies, probably an occasional whiz as a bullet flies over the top of a trench, but it's pretty boring. Just as a sidebar, because it was asked, and I'm not sure how the Sarge will react to it, do you keep an eye out for sergeants?
Nope. I think going forward, I'm not going to put anybody else in a shit situation that will not. That's killing people at this point. And if that captain survives, a few extra sergeants, it's not going to help. So no, I don't say a damn thing going forward.
You probably put eyes on a couple of, chevrons where you're like, oh, a sergeant, and then you're like, I'm not sending him to get promoted for a bullet.
Nope. I'm wondering though if the LT recognizes, because or if he would even care.
The LT, you don't see him recognize, but he knows ranks for your regiment, for the most part.
Sure.
Difference between like a specialist, a recon, a trooper is probably, he has to know the person. He's like, oh yes, recon, like Ace, that type of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
Right.
he wouldn't recognize insignias.
You wouldn't care as much, because that's interesting too, because he seems really hands off. All right, yeah. So if he's not paying attention or saying anything, then yeah, there's no way I would
Yeah,
send any of those people to their deaths.
that's fair. So, you carry on. Feel free. Seeing as you got a lot of time, if you want to talk to anyone about anything, you have the time. Don't feel like you have to, because squelching through a trench, not saying anything, is pretty much par for course. Especially in this trench, it's really depressing.
Actually, I think that yeah. All right, everybody, we got a little bit of time before we get there, so why don't we play ourselves a little game? All right.
Oh, games. I like games.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna start off with numbers. Hawk, you're not gonna be playing.
1. Sorry, Sarge.
No, you're not. Oh, jeez.
1.
Oh, I thought I was gonna.
No. I said it first.
No. I don't know. These are goals, I guess you could say, and I'm really curious for each one of you. I think we all have an idea of the tally of the people we killed, right? I know I keep count.
I count my bullets. I don't count the kills.
Wait, are we comparing body counts?
Nope, not exactly. What we're doing is sort of guessing. How many people you think you're going to be able to take out before you're taken out? Now, you take the number you should know, and that's okay, Ace. You take, for you, we'll change a little bit. The amount of bullets you think you're going to get through before you can't shoot anymore.
Oh. Well, that would depend on me not wanting to shoot anymore. You see, I think if I am seen and I'm not the one dealing the death sentence, then my time will come. As boring as that answer may be, I am not one to be in the front of battle, so double digits, thousands, maybe.
All right.
50,000.
I would guess more from you.
I was being all right. 100,000.
Oh, that's more like it.
I think this question depends on, like, how you want them killed, Sergeant. I mean, really, how close packed together are they? And, like, in what sort of way, you know? You want them killing each other? You want them, just dying of starvation, or hunger, or fragmentation?
No, you throw that gas into them, you take out 100 people. Those are yours. You know that. You count that, right?
How much air do they have to breathe? You know, if it's like a little bit of air, then you can get a lot farther with one frenzigen grenade. So
I think Parzival's gonna win, to be honest.
is it going off in a void ship? Because if it's a void ship, you know.
And Trooper Lenk leans forward and says, I'm 247 over my target.
Well, look at you.
What's
All
your
right.
target?
It's one.
Well, I guess I'm asking this question because it's always good to think about that goals. You know, you said goals. I think we all have our own goals, right? Ace, those kills, they got to be clean for you. Precise.
Absolutely. Perfection is my goal.
Sure. You know, in Parzival's, funny enough, yours have got to be precise too. Like, I know you can do a lot of damage in an area, but you got to hit an area to maximize.
It's really the psychology of it, Sarge. You know, you get a frenzigen grenade in a bunch of, I don't know, greenhorn recruits, and it's not going to do as much as if there was all twists or something. You know,
Yeah.
big guns, great big ducker. You know, throw a toss of frenzigen in there. It's like works for itself, speaks for itself.
That's fine. And Valkus, with what I've seen you can do, and at this point, I think Keith is looking at her after the gun jams and everything else. They're just sort of looking at her and being like, I see you mow people down. And then you do the next line and the next line and the next line. It's not precise. Gets the job done. I guess for all of you, I'm just wondering, just how far you think you can go. How many people do you think you can kill before someone gets you? I know it's a hard question to ask, but with Hawk over here, and I'm eyeing Hawk, who has not fired his gun. Like, he doesn't really know what it's like, you know? Not just to take a life, but to take handfuls of lives, truckloads of lives. You know what I'm saying? For him over there, he has no idea the situations you've been in, what you've had to deal with, what you've seen. And what we're going into right now, that's something that is going to be beyond hell for him. And Hawk, if you don't break, I'll be surprised.
I would break, Sodge.
Yeah, all right. You can say that all day, but You see how they're talking about this? How they're able to sort of focus on what they're trying to do, how they're gonna do it. You know, they're not worried about that, necessarily the glory of it all. They're just looking at how they're gonna get it done. And you need to pay attention to that, because when you get in there, you're gonna have to do the same thing. You have to get it done. Now, for me, I'm just happy if I kill one more before I die. Just one more.
Well, that's interesting, but does make sense.
Like a really important one? Just like maybe a baby?
It doesn't
Does
matter.
it matter?
No, not really. It doesn't matter. You know, it's just one more squeezing that trigger, you know?
What if
one
it's
more
Hawk?
slice down. What's that?
What if it's Hawk? After he betrays us all.
If Hawk... looking over at Hawk. All right, two
What?
more.
Hawk, hey, Hawk, I got a question for you. You know
Yes?
the sound it makes when a rebel is gasping for his last breath, but it never comes because he's just phrenzogen in his lungs and he's going crazy? You know that sound?
No.
Yeah, then you're not a threat. Not yet to us, anyway. But you will
wasn't,
be. You hang out here long enough.
I wasn't really looking to become a threat.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna be a threat, mate. We all are.
To you?
Now, you're adorable.
And Trooper Lenk leans forward and says, in that case, if we're deciding numbers, then my number's gonna be one more than you, Sarge.
All right. I like a challenge. You're not going to win it, but I like the challenge.
We'll see.
Percival's gonna just nudge Warbitch. Was we supposed to be picking low numbers, or was did I lose?
No, I think they're just trying to be, I don't know, some kind of humble, spiritual,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, definitely. I understand.
No, but you definitely, you'll probably get to like 500K. Probably.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but have you seen you work? It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like your gun.
Thanks. I'll show it to you more sometime if you want.
Yeah, no, I'd like that.
Cool.
As you're walking, probably like a little bit of silence and some more trudging. Sarge, Lenk still walking next to you, and just very subtly leans over and kind of whispers, Sarge, you know they say there's a bullet out there with your name on it.
Right. Yeah.
I reckon Warbitch has fired so many bullets, she's probably fired that bullet herself, hasn't she?
Oh, now that's a... I think at that, Sarge just goes quiet for a second. Maybe. You think it's gonna be a bullet for you? A grenade? A knife to the back, the front? What do you think it's gonna be for you?
Well, we're going into urban combat, right? So, something close combat. Maybe a knife.
Right.
Shotgun, possibly. Blast to the chest.
You know what people never think about? Just fire. Just fire. Just going out by fire. Slow. Stuck. Burn. You never think about that. You think you're going to get shot and it's just going to be quick. You know, you're going to get stabbed, you bleed out. That's pretty fast. No one thinks about fire. Well, Parzival thinks about fire.
A little bit too much.
You know, Sergeant, it turns out most people who die by fire, it's not the flames that kills you at all, it's the smoke and trying to get out of little tiny spaces and being pecked like rats, you know? You always got to have an escape plan.
Except for when you fire one of your incendiary grenades up over onto them.
Yeah, then it's just, you know, chemicals.
Then it's just the fire that kills them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No fun in smoke. How much closer are we now? I'm just sort of calling that out. Just getting everybody's, to look forward and just sort of change their focus on everything else. We're getting close. Let's,
Yeah, getting close. Another 20 minutes, maybe 15. It's hard to tell because, map wasn't amazing to begin with. It's kind of a rough guesstimate. But keep trudging. And also, this far to the edge, the sounds of gunfire, it's not as much. It's not as active down this end of the trench. And you actually get occasional, whoops and, a little staccato of gunfire coming from the direction you're headed as opposed to from your left. Which, as you get closer, you see more and more, even though it's getting darker, you see more and more the rubble of the hive city. It's this big mound of plasteel and concrete and, bits of building and...
All right, everybody, we're getting close. Ace.
Yes.
We don't really know what we're going into, right? So, when we get close, start scouting out for some high places you can look, right? Nothing too far away from us, mind us. Just look for anything that looks like a little bird's nest you can get up into fast enough just to get a little survey of the area, right?
Will do, Sarge. Will do.
All right. Yep. Keep going.
Okay. Eventually, you get towards the end of the trench. And what you see is essentially the trench just stops being a big divot in the ground and kind of goes up into a little hump. There is a problem, Sarge. There is a good 100 meters, maybe 200 meters of open ground between the end of the trench and the beginning of the hive city. Enough for there to be cover and for you to make your way into the city. Which, what I can give you, just using Ace's eyes, essentially. Sorry to use your eyes, Ace. Is there are maybe in 200 meters, maybe 2 significant bits of rubble that can maybe have 2 people, maybe 3 people behind it. There's a few minor bits which will cover some of your body. But essentially, you're gonna have to run across to get in there. It's about how you want to do it.
All right. So,
essentially, I imagine you want to have a little sit down and powwow to basically be like, all right, this is shit. What are we gonna do?
yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Sure.
There's not as many people around here.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Get in close. Let's figure some shit out. It's too much ground. It's not going to be easy. Ozziville, no offense, but, well, no offense. And I don't say anything else to that line. I think what we're going to have to do, a little run and jump. Can't be all of us at once. Problem is we're gonna have to get a few of us out there doing suppressive fire and then leapfrogging each other to some degree. The problem is that, and I need your opinions on this. Do we send the fast first or the slow first? What are y'all thinking?
I have a thought, Sarge. We send 2 people out first. Warbitch and Ace. Warbitch goes halfway, suppressive fire, covers us as we go. With the first run, shouldn't be too much of a danger because they're not expecting anyone to be so stupid. Ace can go first, go all the way to the end, and give that little bit of extra cover fire. Although, he might get shot at once they realise where he is.
Well, they have to see me first.
True.
Well, I can't get shot, so I'm willing.
I mean, you might get shot if they notice you.
All
The
right.
Emperor is protecting me. What do you think?
Yeah, Emperor.
That's a fair point.
All right. Hawk, you want to fire your gun a little bit?
Yes, Sarge.
All right. I'm going to need you to go about 10 meters back. Keep your comms open, okay? If I say shoot, you start shooting. In whatever direction that any gunfire is coming from. Because if they notice Ace, I want you to be a distraction. And don't get yourself shot, all right?
Right you are, Sarge.
Should someone walk him through how to use that thing?
Actually, that's a good idea. You go ahead and do that, and then...
Yeah.
I run my drills, but okay.
All right, Ace, I'm not expecting you really to be seen, but you know shit happens. You've been there.
Yes. All right. He puts his cloak on. I'll try to be as fast and silent as possible. And if I can't do that, then I'll be a good distractionist for as long as I can.
Yeah, which is great. As soon as you get to your position, you let us know. Falcus, I agree, actually, that you're going to be heading out there. Get about halfway. Find as much cover as you can. Set up. Be ready. Then we're going to start going.
Aye, Sarge.
Parzival, can I help you carry anything? Just...
No, I got it. No, it's fine. Really.
All right. All right.
Just gonna tuck all the legal things in the pockets.
Old Wheezy over there.
Hardly got anything on me at all, Sarge.
No, I know. You're fine. All right. Let's go ahead and get this stuff going. LT, when I start going, just stick right next to me, all right?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right.
He's a little bit ball of nerves, wound up a bit, but that'll help the running probably.
I hope so. I'm worried about my athletics, honestly, but we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah. So, Ace, you're going first, and you're going quietly.
Yes.
With the assistance of your chameleon cloak, which essentially blends itself to the surroundings, you not only get plus 20 from the chameleon cloak, but you also get plus 10 because it's getting dark.
Nice.
So, plus 30, stealth, please.
Radio.
And good luck.
And there we go.
2 degrees of success. You slip out the back of the trench and essentially not even really going properly down into a crawl or anything, more of like a crouched run.
Yeah.
You just slip right across the field. Even the people in the trench can't really see you. Maybe a shimmer as you leave, but once you're out in there, nothing. It's too dark.
Nice.
Takes you a couple of minutes, pausing once, maybe twice behind cover, and then you're on the other side. You see a few alleyways that will lead you into the city. You don't need them yet, unless you'd like to try and climb into one of these very rubbly, rickety buildings, but you're not 100%
If you can see a
sure.
sore footing to get up, to just look through the scope to make sure that everybody gets
Yeah.
across, you'll try. Maybe
you
scout
can
the
get
area out to see.
You can get a semi-elevated position on some rubble, enough for a decent shot.
Yeah, that's what he'll do, and he'll just kind of keep his scope on the team just to make sure that they're crossing at a good speed, and if there's any immediate threats, he'll at least distract.
Shall I
Since
take
it is
it
dark.
as? Shall I take it as read then that he will be essentially on the lookout for anything of high threat that might hit someone once they've been seen, kind of thing?
Yeah, if someone stumbles or makes a noise or if something drops, he'll be able to either take the shot, but he won't see it this time around. He doesn't want to cause too much of a ruckus, so he'll probably shoot into a direction that'll divert attention more than go for a kill.
Okay. Sacrificing his art. Nice.
Unfortunately, but he keeps that to himself because he's trying not to vomit in his mouth at this point.
Okay. So, next up is Von Valkes.
Yeah.
You're going halfway.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Sarge, question.
Yeah.
Are they covering Warbitch, or are they essentially holding until fire is opened?
Yeah. No. So we're not telegraphing. You know, like what we're doing.
Yeah.
I expect that if fire starts to happen towards Warbitch, she'll stop, she'll drop, she'll do what she needs to do. I'm expecting Ace to immediately open fire in anything he sees. Same thing with Hawk. If I hear any gunfire, I'll just relay back to him, start shooting now, just to divert their attention long enough for her to get up and to get to cover.
Okay. In that case, my question for Warbitch is, are you going speed, or are you going to try and not be seen? Essentially, this is athletics or stealth.
Athletic.
Okay. In that case, because you have the element of surprise on your side, and you're going halfway, please roll me an athletics with plus 20.
Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah. So. You run. You get to the first kind of big bit of rubble. It's bit above head height, but there's some side bits which you can essentially get your gun on to give you a little bit of stability when you fire. There's no indication from the trench line, the enemy trench line, that you've been noticed,
Great.
and everyone will pick up on that.
Awesome.
All right. All right. So, Valkes, you post up. You get ready. Don't fire until you have to. And then I think look over at Link and Parzival. Say, now I need you guys to go. And when you do, I need you to go stealthily. After looking at Parzival, I think go stealthily. Take your time. Make your way across. Okay. They got you covered. And Hawk, stay where you are for now. And LT, we're gonna wait our turn, and then I'm gonna step back again.
All right. You ready to get shot?
Oh, me? No. I'm not the one getting shot. You want to
Positive
bet on it?
attitude. I like that.
We could bet on it. You want to bet?
What, you or
What
me?
You got a low stick?
Yeah?
All right. Well, I'll bet my low stick against your low stick that I'm not gonna get shot, and you are.
All right. In that case, I'll bet that I'm not going to get shot, and you are.
You're on, mate.
All right.
Parzival slowly pulling out her bolt pistol, just keeping it back. You're on.
1 second. Okay, before we go, it doesn't count if you shoot me.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't dream of it.
Yeah, no, of course. Right. You ready?
Always.
Let's go. That is a stealth plus 10, please.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It's plus 10, sorry.
So, Trooper Grail Link has critically failed his stealth with 8 degrees of failure.
Sucks, mate.
In this instance, I'm going to offer you a choice here, Rita.
Yeah.
Either there will be a roll for awareness from the enemy soldiers to see if they notice, and it's going to have a big bonus because he critically failed. Or
Yeah.
they're going to become aware of you guys, but they're only going to shoot at him, which will give you a chance to get to the midpoint.
And a chance for a low stick.
And a chance for a low stick.
If he lives.
It's essentially, if you go for the awareness roll, then they might shoot at either of you. If you go for the immediate clock con on, then they'll just shoot at him.
What if I shoot him?
You wouldn't know who's, like...
I'm just kidding. Would have been nice.
Could have got me low stick anyway. Well, shit. Yes, I'm just gonna feed him to the wolves then.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Okay. So, as you're going across, you are faster than Link. You move easier. He's quite old now, and he's been around a long time.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
you don't get
that
old on a
doesn't...
penal colony, mate.
Yeah. So you hear... you hear, just as you get to the big piece of rubble with Warbitch behind it, shouting, scurrying of activity on the other side, in the other
Damn,
trench.
mate.
And they open fire.
Oof.
So,
But I'm fine.
you are fine.
Alright. Sweet. Order such.
That can't be good. That can't be good at all.
Alright, as he ducks and dodges, tries to weave, the bullets like flying, kicking up the dirt all around him. In the midst of this, one trooper on the other side gets a bead on him. And... okay. And he manages, with his long honed instincts, to essentially serpentine, to dodge, to weave in such a way that none of the bullets actually end up hitting him. He kind of crashes against the side of you, Rita, and like out of breath. You know, there's probably like a bullet hole through the fatigues in his leg. You know, just didn't hit him, just went through the.
It counts with the like you see the hole right here in your pant leg.
My clothes is not me. Also,
They're splitting hairs, mate.
Sarge, might be time to. The radio's over. Sarge, might be time to return fire.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Hawk, start firing Ace. You do what you do.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
to find a good spot. I have you.
Falcus,
Making
I'll
odds
get
is
you-
my thing.
I want you to spray back and forth, back and forth. You're a sprinkler.
All right.
So, how this is going to work is every time you make a run, we are going to have rolls for people who are in position to essentially help with suppression. The majority of it will be Warbitch and Ace. Ace, the problem you're going to have is the more you fire, the more likely they are to figure out where you are. For you, Warbitch, it's essentially going to be when you fire, you're going to make yourself slightly a bit of a target. So there's always a possibility that instead of the people running, they're going to fire at you.
Question I have.
Yes.
Ace notices the situation is not the best. It's dark, and though he has equipment, he can't see clearly what he does. So it's not awful for him. So he doesn't care to kill anyone.
Okay.
But he wants to assist Warbitch. So he's like, hey, Valkis,
Yeah.
remember our talk about dancing?
Yeah.
Well, you be the feet and the action, and I'll be your eyes. And he's just gonna take his equipment and use it as an assist for her, and hopefully helps her on her rolls
Oh, okay.
versus shooting.
In that case,
Just be like, to your left. Look up.
when we do the runs, you can roll a scrutiny or an awareness.
Yes.
If you succeed, then Warbitch, you will have plus 20 to your shooting. On top of your
Okay.
other bonuses.
Sick.
And the thing is, unfortunately, Rita, and also for Mr. Lenk, there's only space enough here for 3 people max. So
Alright.
you're gonna have to make another run.
Wait, we gotta go back out? Can't just kick Link ahead and make another space?
There's no space.
Yeah,
Sorry.
kick Link out.
So we gotta go back out then.
To get to the safety of the rubble in the hive.
Right.
Where Ace is. So Lake looks at you and says, still chance for either of us to get shot. You ready?
Always.
Are they roughly halfway? Is this rubble halfway-ish? A third
It's
of the
close
way?
enough to halfway, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, this will be an athletics. And considering that you're already on fire, we'll give it a plus 10. Wow. He really...
Woo!
he, he really wants to give you that that low stick, apparently.
Wanna give me low stick?
Alright.
Rita's like,
Go all the way over to give me low stick?
So, let's get...
On that, Link!
Let's get a scrutiny from Ace. See if Warbitch gets a bonus. Wow,
All right.
2 99s in a row from him. What is that?
and this is naked, right?
Fate.
0. All right.
Yes.
I'm on a
Alright,
lot
get
of
ready.
frenzion right now.
Get ready, Valkis. Here we go.
Yeah.
To your left.
Okay. Valkus,
Yeah.
Roll your ballistics, please, with a plus 40.
Okay. Plus 40.
As you just cock back the hammer, hold down the trigger. It doesn't matter if you hit anyone, really, because the plan is to keep their heads down while your mates run. Holy fuck.
And that is what we call a waltz. 4 come in your direction.
So, there are a decent amount of enemy troopers in the trench. When you pull down on the trigger, you're not aiming to hit anyone. But anything you hit is what you aim at, right?
Yeah.
So, there are a lot of heads that disappear from the trench line when you open up. And when you finish firing, less come back up. I would give, like, you don't really care too much, I don't think, as long as you're killing people. But I would say a good 6 or 7 people just lost their faces.
What is the total of people that have do we know how many people total? Like 6 or 7 out of?
Probably out of about 50 to 60.
Oh, okay.
It will have a bit of a divot in the fire that's laid against you.
That's alright.
This will now be an athletics with plus 20 for both Rita and for Trooper Lenk, due to the just ridiculous amount of cover and
Woo! Alright! Let's go!
Okay. Alright, good. So, Lenk is going to get 1 shot on him, because there is a obscene amount of fire being bandied back and forth. Less from the troopers, but okay. So that
Does he
will
say
be-
anything? Is he real sneaky about it?
Well, yeah, no, that misses. So, very spread out fire. There's no real. You get the impression, considering the amount of heavy bolter fire currently just being slammed into their position on the trench, that probably a lot of them may even be firing into the air to make it seem like they're firing, but they're not sticking. They just saw like their buddies' heads get blown off by a crazy
Sorry, what did
berserker
you just
with
call
a
me?
minigun
Crazy?
type thing. Zealous. Zealous? Is that them?
I think you're looking for the word perfect, but okay.
A perfect berserker with a minigun. And with a little bit of tripping and scurrying, both Rita and Trooper Lenk make it to the other side. And Trooper Lenk radios back and says, "Alright, Sarge, we're here. Next set."
All right. Hawk, get up here. Stop firing your gun.
It's just like one more shot. Pew. And then, yes, Sarge.
All right. This is turned a little sideways. So what I want to do is you're going to run with the lieutenant. All right. And you're going to be putting down your own fire next to him. You're going to stand on the side of him that the gunfire is coming from. You understand?
Yes, Sarge.
You match pace. All right. I'll
Yes,
bring up
Sarge.
the rear in a minute. And then pretty much, I guess I'm paying attention to the best time to go. And as soon as it feels right, I'll say, now.
Can I get a scrutiny from Ace, please?
Absolutely. At the moment, he's just humming his own tunes. All right. Oh. Well, I have fate points, and I want to use them because I want to use them every damn time.
Righty room.
That's more like it.
Okay, Warbitch, a ballistic skill, please, with a plus 20. Oh, sorry, plus 40.
Right side of you. Turn counterclockwise.
Yeah, same thing. Just ripping across, kicking up dirt. Another couple of heads explode. There's screaming, there's shouting. This is where you belong. Standing with a big ass gun with explosive bullets firing at heretics and rebels.
Eat my dick.
That's drums, you mean. Eat your drums.
And just purely because I'm curious, Ace, are you humming along to the drum beat of the machine gun?
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, and then he stops and he's like, wait a minute. And he's just like going with the beat of the bullet fire. It's almost rhythmic because he knows she's in her zone.
All right.
That's good.
So, Trooper Hawk will run. Ooh, okay, he made it.
Cheeks.
That feels so perfect for him. Just on the edge of success.
And the lieutenant will run. Yep. No real problems as they're going across. Like, obviously, occasional shot fired, kind of in haste and without aiming. Like, kicks up dirt near them, but, you know, not even close enough for them really to be too worried. Although I'm sure the lieutenant is worried, and Trooper Hawk will brag about how he almost got shot. They reach Warbitch, who is just releasing the trigger. Spent shell casings just all over the place at this point. Goes back, reels out another long reel of bullets and just slams it into the gun, cocks it back. And it's time for them to go again. Ready to lay down covering fire? Alright, scrutiny please, Ace.
And oh, can I lose my roll 20? There we go. There. And don't pull away from the beat. This is good. You're in your element.
Warbitch, plus 40.
Yeah.
Ballistic skill. See how many more heads you can explode.
Look at my confetti.
Hell yeah.
She's destroying shit.
Not as many this time, but still a whole load. Like, every time the heads go down as you essentially... And can I take a little bit of artistic license here? I feel like you started off, like, kind of sideways against the rubble. At this point, you're just legs splayed, straight out in the open, fully, like, hip firing, and just, like, turning, and just, like...
Fucking
actually
camera going with her.
Actually shouting at them and, like, taunting them at this point, because they're just not a threat, because you keep their heads down so well.
I'm cackling maniacally.
Maybe a little bit of, get some, get some!
Yeah. Eat my dick.
Alright, man, they're getting decent rolls from this, to be honest, so they should make it, but when you say that, you're always worried that they won't. Yeah, no. Again, the return fire is not significant enough to really worry them as they kind of go from cover to cover as best they can, small bits of rubble, whatever's there, occasional pings from just a bullet hitting something by accident, essentially, at this point. Nothing's really aimed aside from Warbitch's heavy bolter, and they are through. They clatter through into the group, keep their heads down. Essentially, they're now just there, watching, waiting for the sergeant.
Okay. All right, Ace, I'm going to need you to change up what you're doing a little bit. Work with Parzival. Parzival, I need you to pay attention. Drop something every now and then as a distraction. Valkus,
Hey, firm, Sarge.
you hold down cover fire until I get to you. pack up your shit, and we're gonna run together, okay?
Got it.
And
Ice, what you
see.
got for me?
All right. Oh, you're gonna love this. You have a good bit of them coming up to your right side. Slowly. They think that they're slick. But I see them.
Vertical degrees and distance, mate.
Hell yeah, you see them.
Oh, just let it roll. These idiots are just splaying right in front of you, trying to flank someone that's as non-tactical but very proficient with grenades as you. Just blow the fire 45 degrees from your location.
Hey,
Plus 30 to your ballistic skill, please.
Show them what kind of art explosives can give. Read the canvas.
Can I assume...
Hey, Ace, how many rebels does it take to paint a barn?
Hopefully a lot.
As many as you can throw at it.
The number that it takes to paint the side of a hive city wall is 7, which is the number that we're trying to flank down the side of this hive city wall. The grenade you fired lands directly in the center of them, and after the explosion and the smoke clears, all that is really left is just an impressionist painting in red.
And valuable teeth and lots of glow sticks, yeah?
I mean, if you want to go grab them, you can go out into no man's land.
Yeah,
But
I'll just wait maybe a bit.
They'll just
Sorry.
say abstract with an accent. That's art. And he's just like literally in the like orgasmic
He's
flavor
lost in
right
the-
now. He is in ecstasy.
lost in the
completely.
performance, yeah.
He's just like, oh, because he just saw like War Bitch go ham, and now Parsifal just blew it up, and he's just like, you know, on the edge of fainting, but like, you know, pleasuring.
Sarge. You legging it?
Alright. Oh yeah.
That will be a plus 30 athletics, please.
Alright.
These are the bonuses you're getting for the guys, because it's just, yep. You sprint across, like you see to the side as you're running, you see the looping grenade as it hits and splats, and you get to the midway point essentially where the rubble is and where Warbitch is, who's still just feet
Laying down
apart, just planted. Just kind of like laying down fire all along the line.
Yeah, I'm putting my hand. A gesture she'd know. I putting my hand on her shoulder a couple times for her to stop, and then to pull back into cover.
Oh, what? I do that.
All right, we're gonna be running together, all right? But I want you on this side of me, and I'm putting
Yes.
her away from the fire, because I'm gonna be using my pistol, as shitty as it's gonna be at this range, with no real view of what's going on.
So, I'm gonna,
Running and gunning with her.
considering the ridiculous performance we've just seen from one certain warrior princess, let's say, which is what I saw her called. Warbitch,
Yeah.
please narrate for me, and Sarge, you can go along with this as you like, but essentially Warbitch is going to essentially sidestep all the way along while firing.
Yeah.
God.
It's just essentially like and just like foot, like quite dainty actually, like foot over foot, foot around foot, foot over foot.
It's a waltz.
If she does this,
Yeah.
I'm putting my gun away and I'm just walking behind her.
Yeah, okay.
Just sauntering behind her as she goes.
I'm just making guttural noises while this is happening, by the way.
Yeah.
thrilled.
And like every now and then a head pops up and you snap round and bang, and the head just explodes. There are
Every time Ace is
literal-
like, oh, yes. The whole time.
And in your vision, Ace, every single head exploding, every single trooper hit is like an explosion of light, like fireworks.
Yeah. Yep. Every time he does, he's turned into a conductor. Like in his head, he's wearing like the nicest 40K whatever splendid outfit that you can see. His gun became a gigantic long, stick. I guess I don't know what you call them. And he is just conducting this whole battle in his head. And this is the most elevated moment he's ever had in his military life at the moment.
And there are literal divots like this deep in the trench where your repetitive fire, Warbitch, has dug out like huge just chunks of the trench. And there's barely any fire coming back at this point. You could probably stop firing and just walk, but why would you?
I'm landscaping. What can I say?
Yeah.
So artful.
And then you both get to the end of the walk. Because, let's face it, if you wanted, you could probably take that fucking trench by yourself. They're kind of pussies. So...
Wait, can I, though? No? Okay.
You have a mission. I think if you
All
wanted
right.
to...
Stick to the mission.
I mean, it's down to you. If you want to take a run at it, you can.
No,
Nah, it's okay.
If she start, yeah, I don't think.
She's
like,
got
I
a
wouldn't-
fire in her eyes.
Yeah, I would probably have my hand on her shoulder and just probably watching her. I don't think I'm necessarily gonna stop her if she runs at it, but I'm sort of suggesting that we shouldn't go that way right now.
Yeah.
Are they with Ace now, or are they still coming?
Everyone has
Everybody
joined you. Yeah.
Oh, Ace just runs up to Valkis, and he never showed any emotion whatsoever to anybody. He hugs her, and and then he looks at Reed and grabs him, pulls him tight, and he's like, "Was it as good for you as it was for me?"
I don't think so, mate. It was good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was great.
I mean,
Good.
thank you for the assistance.
Could have gone for a
That
little
was
longer, maybe.
Fun.
It was.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean by the symphony? Did you hear it? It was glorious. It was.
Yeah, yeah.
The sky
like
was
the
lit
pops.
like it was daytime. Yes. Then he
Yes.
Then he shuts up and he looks around. He looks at Hawk, and Hawk is probably like staring at him. He's just like,
Yeah, but
So,
Ace, next time you gotta promise me. The next time you do it messy like I do. I did
You
your
know what?
fancy art version, you know?
yes. After that display, perhaps. Now you know that's the best you'll get out of him. Anyway.
yeah, that's quite impressive, actually.
Yeah.
And so, you slip into the alleyways, go very slightly
Wait,
into
wait,
the
wait,
hive city.
Wait.
It
What
is.
about the lieutenant or whoever I was running with? What about
Uh,
Lank? Lank, are
you-
you
you-
alright? Did you get ventilated at all?
No, leg's fine.
Lank, you didn't get shot? Not at all? Not once? Not even
Is
little
it-
tiny...
His trouser took a bullet hole.
That's it? Oh, shit. Alright. It's fine. Never mind. Just wanted to make sure, make sure you were alright. Looking out for
fine.
you.
Thank you.
Alright.
And the city is quiet. You realize that you're going to have to traverse through ruined streets, possibly infested with hostiles all over. But for now, you find a quiet building which isn't completely bombed out, and you settle down for the night. And we will finish there for today.
Awesome.
So,
Ooh, that was fun.
Maybe?
let us talk about everyone quickly. We will start off with, I believe we all would agree, is the star of today's show, which is Warbitch, and also Murgles, who
Hi.
started off with a maybe a production of Stomp and very quickly ended up as
Oh wow.
Ended up
As
as
a-
Eat My Dick.
yeah.
I want that for my soundboard so bad, bro.
Eat My Dick the musical. Because
Hello, I'm Murgles. Eat my dick. Thank you so much for having me. I played Warbage for you today. You can find me on Twitch if you want. Peace.
There you go. Next up, the strategic command, the military genius that is the sergeant. also known as
me.
Aaron.
Thank you. That's very.
I mean, I
kind of
could
you.
do the lieutenant if you like, but we know he's just.
Yeah,
a
no,
figurehead.
fuck that guy. All right. My name's Aaron Black. I'm a writer. Wrote a book called Firewall Down. If you want to know more about that, you can find me over on Twitter at Aaron B. Writes. And that's me.
Okay. Next up, we will go to our sniper, our recon, Ace, and also Technic.
Hello, I played Tekal Orgasmic Man. I was kidding. It's always fun to live out your
Orgasmic
anime.
flavor.
Yeah. To live out your anime creeper, if you were ever one. He's so fun to play. He's completely nothing I would ever make in my whole entire life of TTRPG, but Sheepdog makes the story allowable for me to be able to venture in, and Brad in the back just handling the production, just absolutely just that's odd. So I had a really good time. If you I try to be on Table Story as much as possible. Harass every DM and GM here and tell me to put on shows. Brad, whack.
Oh yeah.
Everybody. But yeah, if you like what you see, come by twitch.tv/technique, no U, no E. And on Twitter, which is the best place you can follow me, is Technique TV. Just a Q and put a TV at the end. And yeah, just host, act, and yeah. Hope to see you guys around soon. It's been a pleasure being Ace.
And also, the person with the most fingers in the most pockets, Specialist Rita Parzival, and also Nicotine.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicotine. I do a lot of roleplay and also more roleplay. I do a ton of roleplay. Come hang out on Twitter and Twitch. I'm Nicotine Prime on Twitter and Nicotine on Twitch. That's Nikatine. I stream every day and I do a lot of GTA roleplay as well. So come check it out.
Okay. And I am going to leave you with a final thought, which is, yet again, I do not give you a proper outro. See you later.
Food for thought. Peace.